Godzilla, King of the Monsters was released in 2019. It was directed by Micheal Dougherty and stars Ken Watanabe, Kyle Chandler, Vera Farmiga, Charles Dance, and Millie Bobby Brown. When his family is kidnapped by eco-terrorists, Dr. Mark Russell joins with Monarch to search for his family as well as the Orca, a device that, when emitting a certain frequency, can influence a Titan's behavior. And meanwhile, a new threat known as Ghidorah is released onto the world, causing destruction in its path, facing off with the Titans Mothra, Rodan, and Godzilla. So before I give you guys my overall thoughts, I will let you know that there will be spoilers in this review. So if you have not seen this film and you do not want spoilers, here's your warning. So right off the bat, I personally really enjoyed this film, and I think it's one of the better films in the Monarch Monsterverse film series. But I will admit I'm probably in the minority of that. I thought this film was a lot of fun and really exciting, and it really delivers on what you're paying to see, which is, again, monster destruction. I thought the fight scenes were amazing, especially all the ones between Godzilla and Ghidorah, and I love the visuals and the cinematography of this film. It really captures how destructive these monsters would be if they were released out into the world. Sure, we see those in the original films, but I thought this film just really captured how truly destructive they would be. And one thing that I was really personally excited to see was that it vastly improved Godzilla's atomic breath compared to how it was in the 2014 film. I also really love the scene where we see Godzilla swimming to the Monarch facility that's located at the bottom of the ocean. It's completely dark all around the station, and all we see is Godzilla just slightly illuminated by the pulse of his spines. Each time I see that, I get chills each time. It's just really intimidating. It's just awesome. One of my other favorite things about this film was the music. The score was composed by Bear McCreary, and when I first saw that, I was excited. I think he's a fantastic musician and composer. I really love his work, and his music just really captured what we're seeing on scene. It was both exciting and cinematic, and on a more personal note, I really loved his renditions of some of the classic monster themes that we hear in the film, such as the theme for Mothra and Godzilla. It just got me all wrapped up in pure nostalgia. And on that note, the film does have quite a bit of Easter eggs or references to previous Godzilla films. We had the term Monster Zero, which was one of the names that was used to refer to King Ghidorah from the previous films. We have the same lineup of monsters that was used in the original film Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. We have Ghidorah, we have Godzilla, Mothra, and Rodan. We also have the burning Godzilla that was originally seen in the 90s Godzilla films. But I will say that there was one reference in particular that I was a little mixed about. And that, of course, is the use of the Oxygen Destroyer. For those of you that don't know, the Oxygen Destroyer was first featured in the original Godzilla films, and it was the only device that was capable of destroying Godzilla. And how it was used in this film was very, very forced. While again, I appreciate the references to the original films, it didn't really do much. Sure, it incapacitates Godzilla for a minute, and we think that, you know, Godzilla might be dead, but come on, we know he's not. This takes place like almost halfway through the film. We know he's not dead. This is his freaking movie. And on that note, another thing that I'm mixed about was there was a scene where they try to revive Godzilla with a nuclear bomb, and the only way to get close enough to Godzilla is if someone actually gets close to him, so Serizawa volunteers for that. And while I admit that that scene was a little sentimental, there was a line that Serizawa says where he bids Godzilla farewell before the bomb goes off, saying, "Goodbye, old friend." I thought everything else in the scene was fine, but I don't think we really needed that line because I don't really get what he was meaning by old friend, because there wasn't really much of an established connection between Godzilla and Serizawa, other than the fact that Monarch studies and tracks Godzilla. Unless there's something covered in the other material. Like I said, I have not read the tie-in comics. I've read the novelization, and I do remember it expanding on several details, but I don't personally remember there ever being like an established connection between Godzilla and Serizawa. And while we're on the topic, the characters themselves, unfortunately, just like in the previous two films, they're very one-dimensional, they're very bland, and wasn't really invested in them. No disrespect to the actors at all. I thought they all did very well in their performances, but I just really wasn't invested in them, and I thought that they were just making completely stupid decisions throughout the film. We have one group that wants to release the Titans believing that it will revive or save the earth or restore nature, and we have one group that wants to revive Godzilla believing that Godzilla will, be on their side. I thought both of those decisions were huge gambles because, as we saw in the film, when they released all the Titans, they caused way more destruction that, they were predicting. And on the other side, they didn't know if Godzilla wouldn't attack them or fight for them. And the only reason why Godzilla was their ally because of the script. So unfortunately, again, when it comes to the characters, it's still just disappointing. But other than that, guys, I thought this film was a lot of fun. It definitely delivers on the monster destruction and the fight scenes. The visuals and the cinematography and the music were just fantastic. And while I wasn't a fan of the characters themselves, the acting was very well done. I'm gonna give Godzilla King of the Monsters a B-. But guys, that's gonna do it for my review today. Thank you guys so much for checking out this review. I hope that you enjoyed it and found it helpful. And if you did, be sure to hit that like button. And if you've seen this film, then be sure to post your thoughts down in the comments below. I'll definitely check those out. And if you're new to my channel and you're enjoying my content, then please consider hitting that subscribe button. Also, be sure to stay tuned for my next review in the series, Godzilla vs. Kong. Thank you guys again so much. I'll see you next time.